Well, I did that so that when we do this, we're closer.
Yeah, I know.
Although it's like it's still gonna look little.
No, but you can always go, it's 3D, folks.
I know, that's
But
what
no, this is a standard thing for everybody now.
Yeah.
But, hey, this is Oldecam.
And this is not a spring chicken. Today we're going to talk about not only the difference between 3G versus 4G, but also we're going to be doing a review of the Sprint Overdrive Pro.
Yeah, which is basically a clear internet device, I think, which is most of the 4G system out there at the moment is from Clear.
Well, this is a mobile hotspot. I mean, I'm used to calling it my MiFi.
Yeah, it is. But if you'll see most of the people with these things now, because they were designed by a company that's basically been more or less bought out by Sprint and Time Warner.
Yeah, it's actually manufactured by a company called Sierra Wireless.
Yeah.
The previous generation that I had was this broadband card here by Sprint, or actually available from Sprint by Sierra Wireless.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we noticed is, shall we say, when the company decided to no longer support it, they started having problems with it.
Yeah, just sort of like my cell phone that no longer support. It shuts itself off. It does all kinds of things. But
And before we got to this, right from here to here, part of it is I was evaluating whether or not it was worth it, A, to still get a broadband card,
yeah,
okay, or B, to change it to my cell phone, because cell phones now with the new Android system can now act as a
and it's a
hotspot.
hotspot too. So
They can tether up to 5 or 6 different devices. This one right here will tether up to, or actually work with up to 8 wireless devices at the same time.
yeah, that's and actually, what people understand, this is a consumer electronic. That people don't think of. These things are consumer electronics, and they're consumer electronics because they have printed circuits and have batteries.
So first of all, you know that the difference between 3G and 4G is that 4G is supposed to be faster, but
Yeah, actually,
what exactly does it mean and how much faster is it? And is it worth spending the extra money?
We'll start off with this. 3G actually means third generation, 4G means fourth generation, but we'll get technical. It's 3G is currently the world's best connection method when it comes to mobile phones and basically mobile internet. It stands for third generation, as it is just in the terms of evolutionary path of mobile phones. 4G means fourth generations. This is set standard as being developed as a future successor of 3G in the very near future. But actually, see, 4G is actually right out there now. So this is sort of an older piece.
But part of it is it's amazingly faster. For example, the cell phones that are just coming out, we saw them introduced at CES this year, which were the 4G phones, and everyone was like, oh yes, we can hardly wait for them to come out. They do work considerably faster.
Yeah.
But a word of caution is your data plan.
Yeah, and it basically 4G speeds are meant to exceed that of 3G. Current 3G speeds are topped out at about 14 mbps downlink and 5.8 uplink. Then to be able to qualify as a 4G technology, speeds up to 100 mbps must be reached by moving user on 1 GPS for stationary. So what we've had actually, our 3G top out at 5 megabytes, and the 4G top out at 16.
It was like 16.9.
16.9.
And part of it is, it was amazingly fast. It's faster than my broadband at home, or and part of it is we have 2 different devices at home. One is, on some devices I'm wired in, and other ones I'm, do it through the network, you know what I mean,
like
Wi-Fi.
this one here, this one is hooked in to her wireless router elsewhere. I can actually hook it into here. It's just a matter of changing things, just turning it on. But we actually, before we did get this, we actually talked to the people that actually build these things. This is supplied by Sierra Wireless, but actually we do know the company that built them. And we were talking to the guy, and he's explaining the system. If the system had worked exactly as they were talking about, we'd have went with the other company, totally. But the problem is there's a lot of provisions that you're better off going with Sprint or Time Warner, who has the ownership of this stuff at the moment.
I know, and part of it is there's a lot of companies that have something similar. I think all of the major companies have something, right?
They're either like this, or a small flash drive type thing that fits in the side of your computer.
Right, we chose, I could have picked the one that plugs into the computer, but the reason I didn't choose that is I didn't want to have to plug it into the computer for it to work.
Well, because it breaks. The problem is that you can bend the end off of it and break it, so that's the really scary part about it.
Yeah, so this one, you're not occupying a USB space, it's freestanding, but here's the great part about this, is, oh, actually could bring it out here, is because this will work up to 8 devices, and yes, there is a security password on here.
Yeah.
Which is great, which means that...
Other people can't use it on you, so only our computers are capable.
Well, because first of all, if you only have up to 8 devices, you don't want to open yourself up so everybody else uses it and you can't.
Because this also is, she's used her cell phone off of this too, because of the data plan with the other company. When she's running out of the data plan, you can use this thing. Because 5 gigabytes is actually a lot for what we do. We will upload, we've uploaded videos with this because we would go on trade shows and the Wi-Fi was god-awful bad in the hotel rooms.
Well, part of it is if you travel, right, which is one of the reasons why you have something like this, is you don't always get internet, because here's the idea, is everybody thinks, oh, you can have internet everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well, broadband internet versus cell phone internet,
Yeah.
they don't seem to quite
They're not the same.
operate in all the same places.
Oh God, I mean, you can go into rooms at a trade show and you have no internet connection, you have no cell phone connection, no internet, nothing in that dead area.
But just because you have cell phone connection doesn't mean you can have broadband connection or vice versa.
They're different systems, totally different. I mean, they say, well, it's a 3G phone, it's a 4G phone, yeah, but I'll give you some of this stuff. Okay, we've got 3G includes WCDMA, EVDO, and HPSA. And the 4G can be LTE, WiMAX, and UMB. And they aren't necessarily have anything to do with these. This is different than your cell phones.
Actually, one of the reasons why I like this one is you can get service whether you're in a 3G area or 4G. Because all the places do not have 4G. In fact, the other one we looked at, you had to pay, there was one price to pay for 3G, there's another price to pay for 3G and 4G.
This one automatically goes hunting for 3G or 4G. I mean, we'll be...
And well, you know, the good part is you know which one you're on.
Yeah.
Because besides that, this, like the old one right here, okay, this one has a little screen on there that'll tell you. This one, you can't tell how fast you're going, you have to look at your computer.
This one can.
Nor which system you're on.
But also, we have a Motorola Zoom, which we're basically going to do a review on later because we really worked. And it did not like 3G at all, that Motorola Zoom, because we couldn't get it programmed. We were at NAB and we actually horned in on a party. We found a 16 megabyte place and the Zoom.
Oh, it was zooming.
It was zooming. And
it was going so fast.
That's where we got it programmed to do everything, was sitting on a couch or sitting on their little cushion while they're getting ready to start the party, because they understand you, like we told them. God is favoring this spot right now because we have a 16 meg connection, and we programmed the Zoom really to get its capabilities to function. You have to have a 4G connection. It's fast.
Well, part of it is the cell phones. There's 3G and there's 4G, okay? So part of it is you can pay extra on your cell phone to get the latest cell phone anyway.
Yeah.
But the other part is I don't know about you, but I'm paying for data plans all over the place on all sorts of devices.
Yeah.
So I decided
it's everywhere. But
to just have this, because I think you have to pay extra for your cell phone to have more data.
Yeah.
Right? So this one you get a lot more data. Yes, it does cost you more money, but you can use it for your cell phone, your tablet, whatever device.
And we have been using, okay, what happened was these things, this is too big to carry around, and she's got a smaller computer, but it takes...
It's a small computer, but still, it still takes time to boot up and to do all these other things.
Where with the tablet, all we do is we just push the button, or with her cell phone, you just push the button.
Start.
It's just a quicker start. Because see, we've been using this thing on the road between places to check for information, to check for... We actually can, it gives you real-time tracking of the traffic and where you're setting.
I like that. So part of it is I now use my tablet as my navigation.
Yeah.
Yeah. To see where I am. But the cool part is this, I just put it in with my bag.
Yeah.
And I use it for the tablet as well as the cell phone, and it makes everything a whole lot easier. I was actually really kind of surprised at how much easier it made things.
Yeah, and you have to understand that when you plug this thing in, and you don't pay any attention, it's trickle charging. It's not.
Oh.
Because what happens is you power it on. You got to wash it carefully because it gives you a choice: power on or charge only.
Yeah.
If you want it to charge, make certain it's on charge only because you can.
Well, you know what? Because I learned that because I had it plugged in all night and we're going, how come I'm only at like 30%?
Because it was powered on and not charging, so it was trickle charging. So the next day we got in the car. You know, I plugged it in. We charged it in the car on the way to Las Vegas, and basically that's how easy it is. But we used this. We had this thing on in the desert out there. So
yeah, and also on that charging bed is like when you charge it. What after it already been drained, it took a few hours, right?
Yeah. What happened? Here's the big actually found out. If you run the thing down to too low a point, it will jam on you.
Oh yeah, I couldn't turn it off.
She could not get it turned off. It had to completely drain out, and as soon as it drained out, we basically were able to get it back on again because we really don't know where a reset button is on this thing. So
I know. Well, you know what else it has? Is it has space for micro SD card.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, why? Well, guess what? It also means this is a storage device. So part of it is like the tablet. I can put a micro SD card in there. I can also put it for my cell phone. But when I plug into it, it also means you can update and put more things in it. If you're taking a lot of pictures with your cell phone or you're recording with the Zoom, it just gives you a handy dandy place to store that.
Yeah, it does. It does have some deficiencies, which we did talk to people about. Was that it has where the USB plug-in is on it. It can break on you if you're not careful. Which is where they tell you don't buy the piece of equipment, lease the piece of equipment.
Well, you can't. I tried to lease a piece of equipment. They wouldn't let me.
Okay, then we bought it with a replacement thing.
I think. What is the price? I think it's like. I've seen different prices. I've seen it listed as high as like $499, and I've also seen it $399.
Yeah.
If you buy it when your plan is up or you're up, it's like if it's a new service or you're upgrading, you're eligible for it. It's like $49.99.
Yeah.
And then I bought the additional warranty from Best Buy.
Because we did talk to the people that manufacture this, and you said if you buy it with no additional warranty or something on it, you basically can eat the replacement.
Yeah.
And